Well, with the humidity today and tomorrow, it still feels a little bit like summer outside, but we know fall is not far away. And to meteorologists, fall has already begun.
That's right.
Yeah, Christian, you're joining us now to break down what to expect in this meteorological fall this year.
That's right, you guys. Yeah, meteorological fall, of course, kicking off on September 1st. So the months of September, October, and November all are meteorological fall. So to us meteorologists, technically we are already in fall, but of course, to most people that does not start until the 22nd of September when we have astronomical fall starting. So I always like to give a little refresher here on what the difference between the two is. You can see here that meteorological fall, September, October, and November. It evenly divides fall into 3 months, mainly for statistics purposes, of course, because fall, the start date is very variable. Sometimes it's September 21st, so sometimes it's the 22nd, sometimes it's the 20th. That can make for tricky statistics if the day is always shifting by 1 or 2 days every year or so. So that's why we use just the months of September, October, and November. It allows for consistency through time. Now, of course, astronomical fall, that's based on the position of the sun. I think that it does tend to reflect more of, the fall feel more accurately than meteorological fall. It's more, people-based, I would say, astronomical fall. But yeah, it's based on when the sun, of course, reaches the equator at the equinox, which is on September 22nd. And then, of course, continues until the winter solstice on December 21st. It just feels so crazy that we're like in the downhill slide of the year, talking about the winter solstice, which really is not that far away if you think about it. Wild to think that, the summer always goes by so fast. But yeah, meteorological fall has begun. So what can we expect? What we really want to see is a big bubble of green over us above average rainfall. Of course, we're not really seeing that though, near normal or really no signs pointing towards above or below. There's still a very decent chance that we do end up with above normal rainfall this fall. There's also an equally good chance that we end up with below normal rainfall once again. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed we can start to turn this drought around as we head into the fall. But if we don't, at least we'll have plenty of beautiful weather to enjoy as we head through the fall months. Now, if you remember last year, it was a very, very warm fall. This year, leaning the same way. Very warm temperatures, or just in general, well above average temperatures are favored through the fall months. And if you guys remember last year, Halloween, hottest on record. You guys remember how hot Halloween was last year? We'll see if we get any more of that late season warmth this year. It was kind of nice. I didn't hate it, it was a little weird, but it was, I couldn't complain. It was really nice. So we'll see if we get any more of that big warmth. Now, what we really want to see is drought relief. And unfortunately, I know this might be a little hard to see here, but the latest drought outlook for the month of September shows drought persisting. No signs of any improvement, according to the drought monitor here. So yeah, expect the drought conditions to be sticking around. We're going to hope for some more rain, but I would expect a pretty warm fall. And with the drought going into the fall, last year we had such a great foliage year. We've had some really good ones in the past few years. I think this year might be a little lackluster in comparison, just because we got the drought. It's going to be a warm fall, most likely. That's just not a great sign for great fall foliage. But of course, here in New England, we always have some great fall foliage, so it just might be a little patchier than in past years. But yeah, so we'll keep watching and hoping for some rain, you guys.
I know, and what it tells me is that if I have a day or a time frame of when we know that it's going to be peak foliage or this one area is going to be great, take advantage.
Yes.
Get that leaf peeping session in when you can.
Yes, I feel like it's going to be very quick hitting too this year. It'll be like boom, all the colors come out, but because the trees are so dry already, they're going to get rid of those leaves really, really quickly. So yeah, take advantage, even quicker than you might normally this year. But luckily, it kind of tends to progress slowly through the state.
That's true.
You do have a few weeks where you can go leaf peeping.
Yeah, Southern Maine gets a chance to kind of,
You can go to New Hampshire, Connecticut, maybe even Rhode Island, anywhere in New England,
very
probably, right?
And I mean, even in the Portland area, usually into November, we still have great color on our trees. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see some beautiful color. It would be helpful though if we get some rain before that happens. So hopefully tomorrow brings us a good soaking in the afternoon, even though it could impact our Saturday plans. Well, if you've got any weather-related questions that you'd like to ask our Weather Authority team, you can always email us at weather@wgme.com.